Good morning and happy Holy Thursday. Today we are doing our math Zoom where we're collecting data so that you can finish your assessments. We'll do some reading and finish Stations of the Cross, and then you have a Holy Thursday craft this afternoon. So I hope you have some fun today, as well as a very blessed day learning about Jesus's last few days. See you later. Welcome back to math, and today we are finishing up our data assessment. So yesterday in our Zoom class, we were able to survey our classmates to figure out, for my question, it was what was your favorite breakfast? And you guys had some really good questions that you asked your classmates. So today we're taking all of this data and we are putting them into 3 different graphs. So I'm gonna look at my tallies right here, and here's my pictograph, and I decided already that I'm gonna use a piece of toast and it's gonna equal 1. So for pancakes, I'm gonna use a piece of toast, even though it says pancakes, because we're just gonna use 1 picture. So I have to draw 5 pieces of toast here in my pictograph. Okay, and then I'm gonna fill in for eggs and bacon, oatmeal, cereal, and French toast. Then on the next one, using that same data, here's my line plot. So I'm drawing X's, 5 above pancakes. One thing I'd like to mention is if you can do it, it would be helpful if you kind of did X's around the same size. So now I got eggs and bacon for 4. And you kind of put them in line with each other like this, so that even though you don't have a scale like you do on a bar graph, you can still tell which one is the most and which one is the least because your X's are the same size. And so it shows almost like a bar graph which one has the most just by looking at it. And then I'm going to fill in for the rest of them here. Over in my bar graph, I've got 5 pancakes. I'm going to color in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then so on and so forth for these other ones. And then now I can fill in these questions. So yes, yesterday I asked a question, how many more people like blank than blank? And I didn't fill in because I didn't know which ones were going to be the most or which ones were going to be the least. So now I can fill it in, and I think I'm going to pick one that has a lot here and a little bit here. So I'm going to pick, I think, French toast and oatmeal. So how many more people like French toast than oatmeal? And now I can actually go and answer my question because 4 people like French toast. Only 1 person likes oatmeal. I know to subtract. So I can say 3 more people. What was the least favorite breakfast food? I'm looking at these. The answer is oatmeal. How many people liked oatmeal and French toast? There's 4 for French toast, 1 for oatmeal, 5 people. And you are also going to have a 5th question or a 4th question here that you asked and answered. And then that's it. You're already done. That is your math for today. So because we did this part yesterday, today is much easier because all you have to do is fill in the data and you're done. Okay, bye guys. Hi, 3rd graders, and welcome back to Stations of the Cross. Please find a prayerful spot. Make sure there's nothing to distract you. And we are going to do stations 8 through 14 today and finish up the story of the last few days of Jesus's life. And it's a very important that we are reading through this today because tomorrow is Good Friday. And some of these stations that we're going to read today happened on Good Friday. So find a prayerful spot. you would like to follow along in your Stations of the Cross book, you can. Otherwise, you can just close your eyes and listen or read along as I go. Station 8. The women of Jerusalem mourn for Jesus. A group of women wept to see Jesus so cruelly treated. He has done no wrong, they cried. What is happening is neither right nor fair. Jesus looked at them sadly. Do not weep for me, he said. Weep for yourselves and for your children who have to go on living in these troubled times. Dear God, when the world is unkind and people are so unfair, we weep with you. You weep for us. Station 9. Jesus falls the third time. We adore you, O Lord, and we bless you, for by this holy cross you have redeemed the world. Jesus and the guard approached the hill that was to be the end of the journey. Trembling, Jesus fell again. Dear God, whenever in this world there is more suffering than goodness, help me to believe that your goodness is strong and your love is forever. Jesus is stripped of his garments. Station 10. We adore you, O Lord, and we bless you, for by this holy cross you have redeemed the world. Even the place of execution, at the place of execution, the guards took from Jesus even the clothes he was wearing. They gambled among themselves to decide who would have his tunic. Jesus was left with nothing. Dear God, help me not to worry about the things that people can steal, but rather to seek to live in the way you want to live in your kingdom. Station 11. Jesus is nailed to the cross. We adore you, O Lord, and we bless you, for by this holy cross you have redeemed the world. Then the guards laid Jesus on the cross and hammered iron nails through his hands and his feet. They hung him up to die while others mocked his suffering. Dear God, when I see violent people win, may I continue to live in peace. Station 12. Jesus dies upon the cross. We adore you, O Lord, and we bless you, for by this holy cross you have redeemed the world. For several hours, Jesus hung upon the cross. He asked God to forgive those who had treated him so cruelly. He asked his friend John to be a son to his mother. He pleaded with God to tell him why he had been left alone to suffer. And then he died. Dear God, in the face of death, may I continue to believe that you give life. Station 13. The body of Jesus is taken down from the cross. A man named Joseph from the town of Arimathea saw Jesus die. He was a wealthy man and had been a secret follower of Jesus. He asked Pilate if he could take the body and give it a proper burial. Dear God, may we continue to do good even when it seems that we have nothing left to hope for. Station 14. The body of Jesus is laid in the tomb. We adore you, O Lord, and we bless you, for by this holy cross you have redeemed the world. Joseph had asked that a tomb be prepared for his own death, a low cave cut into the rock with a large round stone to roll in place as a door. As evening fell, Joseph and some of Jesus' friends hurriedly wrapped the body and laid it inside with the door rolled shut. Then they had to hurry home because their weekly day of rest, the Sabbath, was beginning. Dear God, when we are in despair and we have too many hours to sit and weep, be with us. We especially ask this of God when we are in times right now that are a little scary out in the world. We have a lot of time at home to sit and think about it and worry about it. But the best thing to do is ask God, be with us. Say, be with me and help calm my worries. For reading today, you're going to need your packet, you're going to need your checklist packet, and you're going to need your book. So let's take a look at what we're doing today. You're going to need this packet first. And if I read this, it says Thursday, we're going to do a Venn diagram, which is in here. Here's a Venn diagram. And we're going to use pages 240 and 241 in our Journeys book. So let's take a look at that. 240, 241. And the directions specifically say compare and contrast whales and locusts. So I'm looking at similarities and differences of whales and locusts. So I've got whales on one side, I've got locusts on the other. I'm going to turn to that Venn diagram. Right here, name at the top. You're going to put whales on one side. I would put whales on the side that the whales are on. And I would put locusts on the side that the locusts are on, just to make it a little easier. And first thing you need to do is you need to read it. It is something that we've already read through as a class. We did this yesterday, but now we're going to dive a little deeper. So you're reading about, specifically about how they migrate or don't migrate, but you're going to want to read whales, then read locusts, and I want you to come up with at least 2 things per category. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It could be anything from food to color to habitat to families. How do they travel? It could really be anything you read here. How are they similar? Okay, that's your first job. Then the second one, I look at my checklist here. It's just some review pages of things that we have done just to practice again. So page 114, articles and adjectives, it's talking about capitalizing. So I'm gonna read these directions using the words a and the. There's special adjectives called articles. We have done this before, so again, it should be review. Then you're using proofreading to a and the, using them correctly. 115, which is a spelling. This is usually in your homework, but we don't have homework, so you guys know how to do this page. You're looking for misspelled words. And then this one right here is comparing and contrasting using ER and EST. You did that on Tuesday. This is just extra practice. So if you have time, those are the 3 pages you're going to do. Good luck. Hi guys, today we are doing a Holy Thursday craft. So you're going to need the pages that have all of these people on them, plus the one that has a table. And I'm going to read a little bit about Holy Thursday. I'm going to show you a picture. We're going to do the Last Supper. So the Last Supper is just as it sounds, the Last Supper that the apostles had with Jesus right before he died. And so it's a really important meal because Jesus had a very special message. So here are all of the apostles and Jesus that were there at the Last Supper on Holy Thursday and the table that they ate from. So let me show you. Here we go. So on Holy Thursday, it says, since Jesus knew he would die, at this point he knew he was going to die, and yet he said, let's make the most of it. He knew he would die. Thursday evening, he shared a special meal with his friends. Christians call this meal the Lord's Supper, or the Last Supper. This is what the Bible said happened at the meal. While they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it. He broke the bread, gave it to his disciples, and said, take this and eat this. This is my body. And I bet you that sounds a little bit familiar because that's what we say every single time at Mass. right before we have the Eucharist. Then he took a cup and spoke a prayer of thanksgiving. He gave it to them and said, "Drink from it, all of you. This is my blood, the blood of the promise. It is poured out for many people so that sins are forgiven." Then he went with his friends and followers to the Garden of Gethsemane. He asked his disciples to stay awake and pray for him. He prayed to God the Father, asking the Father if there was another way to save us besides dying on the cross. Yet Jesus ended this prayer with, "Your will be done rather than mine." At the Last Supper, here's a picture of it. Jesus asked the apostles to care for others. He even washed their feet. He was doing a service to them, even though he was the one who was dying. And that is something that we like to remember during Lent, that it is a time to do things for other people, just as Jesus would do, no matter what our own situation is. So you're going to take these little guys here and you're going to color them, and you are welcome to color them the same colors as this Holy Thursday picture, or you can color them however you want. That's up to you. Here are all of the people labeled so that when you end up making when you put it all together, you can put them in the correct order. See? Simon, Simon, Jude, Jude, Matthew, Matthew, Philip, Philip. And notice that this person right here, when they did it, these colors are not exactly perfect. They don't line up. So the coloring is not the big deal. It is important, though, to put them in the correct order because this is how they sat at the Last Supper. Now, one little thing is if you have an egg carton at home, an empty one, you can fold this table over the egg carton, and that kind of helps prop these people up in the background and fold the table up and over it. But that is up to you. Or you can get construction paper and just glue them around. Or you can set them up however you want to. But this is a great reminder that even when we are making sacrifices, we are thinking of others. And that's a great reminder. So have fun going ahead and coloring this and cutting it out and creating the Last Supper for your Holy Thursday table today. Bye, guys.